Hello, everybody. This is Ranjan Desai. This is our second session of Nasadiya Advaita Movement, and we are just waiting for a few people to join and then start our session. This is the movement which is started for basically for people who are who want to know a little bit of mindfulness every day, every week, who are interested in understanding what it is, and it's kind of interesting how this. Okay, all right. I think it's time. We'll just wait for a minute. We'll just give some more people time to join. We'll start at 6:35. And by the way, I have a lot of friends joining here, and this is an interactive session. So feel free to comment on the text, and then we can discuss that. I'm sorry, I could not find any other good an easy way to communicate and start this moment. And I thought this is the best one for me at this moment. So I will choose a different method if it works out for others too. So let's see. But for now, we'll be on YouTube live every Saturday from 6:30 to 7:30. And please join, please subscribe. That way, we get all the videos which I'm going to upload, and I'm going to be talking on this. So, hi, Venkat. Good to see you again. Sorry, I don't want to type here, but I'll be just talking to you. If you want to just chat, the text on this, can make it an interactive session, and I'll just whatever I can know, I can talk about it, and then let's see. All right, Shaker is joined from uh, up. I think he's in Seattle. I think so. Good to see you, Shaker. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think we'll start. It's about 6:35 now. So let's start with the prayer. And I'm going to start off with the Shanti Mantra again of Nasadiya Suktam, as well as prayer to Goddess Saraswati. And so we are on our path to learn. So we are part on discovering our true selves. So I'm going to do that. Let's start. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा. Now this is the Shanti mantra of Nasadiya Suktam. Om Vang me manasi pratishtita mano me vachi pratishtitam avirāvirma edhi vedasya ma'anistah shrutam me ma prahasihi anenadhite nahoratran sandadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram om shanti shanti shanti. So Nasadiya Suktam is called the hymn of creation, and it's kind of interesting how to see that oh good, Jairaj is joined from India, so good, good to see you, Jairaj. Let's make it interactive so that we can all discuss, and this is a good platform that we can all talk here. So yeah, so what I was saying was so Nasadiya Suktam is a hymn of creation. It's the mystery of creation. It's a riddle to solve, and who doesn't like riddles? I mean, it's kind of uh, youngsters, adults, seniors, and all. They all talk about riddles. Right? So this is a riddle that we have in Rig Veda. So and it encourages us to answer the riddle with the knowledge that you have gained. Right. So this is not the only hymn of creation. It is like there are a couple of them that I can think of right off my head. It's Purusha Suktam, which is also talks about the creation, and there's Hiranyagarbha Suktam too. So that's actually the common thing about all religions. This is actually the Nasadiya Suktam is one with a riddle, but the other two are really deep into what and how the creation was happened. So let's focus today on Nasadiya Suktam. So, but if you want, you guys can look at the other things too. Yeah. So currently, I was interested in Nasadiya Suktam, and then this video was pushed on me. There's like a couple of feeds that happen, and my goal of Nasadiya Advaita Movement is also pretty much the goal of the a company called socialdilemma.com. And I've been talking to them, and looks like we couldn't connect this time again. But there are actually feeds that are given depending on your profile, depending on how you react to world, depending on how you are seen by the companies, technical companies. So if I have a child who is online, and they know your child more than the parents, is what my understanding is. I've been involved this in a lot of youth forums and parent forums, and so I said the parent forum failed in a thing which is started at the India Community Center here, and so I said this has to be like a family forum where all the families interested in it, and they have this discussion on the dining table every week. The kids are going to learn and going to be empowered by this. That's the first goal of Nasadiya Advaita Movement, the youth empowerment. They're going to get information about how to get a mindfulness tip every week, which they can use as a tool in anything that they want, as stress and all. And then the second most important thing that the youth is going to get is about the careers that they want to choose as they grow up. Because I'm going to be talking on this platform, the technology intersection of the technology, like the cutting edge technology, okay? Not just the technology here, just what is being used currently, and a new field for the youth to take up. It's just not the old worn out path of being an engineer or doctor or whatever it is. It's kind of in addition to that is what I will talk. So there are like fields which are last time we talked about was the brain link. They want to download and upload your memory into the brain. through that link. That's the goal there, okay, for the companies. And Elon Musk is one of the person who is one of my favorites, one of my hero, and he's the one leading the different technological advances, and he's kind of I don't know. There's whatever I say about it is too less word. It's kind of so it's nice to see him start a company called Neuralink. That's what we talked about last time. So youth is going to get empowered with all the new information. Yeah, Neuralink, Neuralink.com. That's right. So that actually is not doing well because of that the goal that they started off downloading uploading memory is too high, because the first problem that the world is facing, there are two scientific problems that currently the world is facing. Okay, first is what is consciousness, and I talked about that last time too, and it became very high level for other people that that. So it's this forum is for all youth, seniors, adults, as well as children too. Like, so it's like a discussion on the dining table every week that we can have, and we can discuss that. So the first few minutes I'll be taking up would be talking about the last week's thing that we learned. So last week I talked about what is consciousness, and this week we're going to talk about the second most important question, which is baffling scientists, is what is the universe made of? So these are the two things which I learned from Deepak Chopra, by the way, on one of his talks, and he was talking to Swami Sarva Priyananda about this, and then they came up with these two questions, and I was very curious, and I learned. And Deepak Chopra is also one of the person that I closely follow, and kind of he started a book called Raja Yoga, which which just put me off because the whatever the thing was done. I'll talk about it. Anyway, so. Yeah, so the first thing is youth empowerment. So youth is going to get empowered every week with new ideas, with new mindfulness techniques to deal with any problem that they have, and they're going to get information about a career path they can take. So it's not just for youth; it's for adults, and adults are going to be parents are going to be knowledgeable with the new information that. That actually is going to be very beneficial to them too, because not many people would know about companies which are doing research work and developmental work and other stuff, right? So that's my first goal. That's the youth environment. The second one is going to be like a family forum, because the parent forum failed, and I didn't want to have a chance, because the link between the parents and the children as they grow up, they start to get their own identity as they grow up. They start to get their own ideas, and they become adults, right? So they start to lose the spirituality. They start to lose the connection between the parents. Right about, in my opinion, where way that I talk to them would be like in the middle school time frame, and then high school is when it becomes a little less. It's not for all, but for a few of the people who get into drugs and other problems and all that stuff. So this is the focus which I want to get the parents involved with. They do not get an idea about what their children are doing until it becomes too late, and then it's very sad that people have to think. So this is one of the things which put me off the cliff, which pushed me off the cliff, was something happened in our society, in our city, in our community, which said I need to start this now, not later. So this is the Nasadiya Advaita movement for as a family forum which is started. And so the third most important thing, which the thing is about the religious stuff itself. People have like social stigma, I would say, for spirituality, because things are they're being using the religion since ages to fight among each other, right? They're doing wars being they're done. So it's kind of I'm not going to go into that at all. Everyone of us knows what is happening. It's like kind of the like people have been attacked, the companies and whatever, the books have been destroyed, the monuments have been, it's still going on. It's going on since ages, like history, right? So, and people are so mad about their own religion that they try to they don't even think twice about taking up arms against another person in a religion thing, right? So that's one thing which is I want to stop the conversions that are happening in the world. you don't want to convert into any religion. It is like a free choice that you need to have, right? So that this is what I understand. So I want to stop the conversions that are happening in the world, because there's no use for that. You know to have peace and harmony. That's my next goal, but I'll talk about it later. So that's the main thing. I want to stop the conversions happening all around the world. And other people who are doing this is you know they have ulterior motive. It doesn't come out as openly as they talk. It's all in a hush hush mode. So it's kind of that's my other thing which I want to stop. So the other one that I want to talk about is the kind of very interesting thing how this works out. Because the when you see about the religious stuff, they become like so much like they want to protect the religion. Like, you don't have to protect anything. There's nothing to protect here. It's kind of it's a way of like how you live, right? How you think about yourself. So this is the other thing. And so I want to in the they talk about secularism and secular thing and all, right? So it's kind of I want to raise the awareness of spirituality among and then I would call it like spiritual tolerance is what I'm not going to tolerate religious tolerance here. I'm going to say spiritual tolerance because they do not have spiritual tolerance in the secular societies these days. So that's my goal here. This I'm going to be doing by encouraging people to understand what the research and what the scientific doing things are happening currently, which are unaware of, and consciousness is that which you are not aware of. It's not what thing. So people are looking. That's the first question that we talked about last time. So coming back to the old session. So I mean, people it was very high level for other people to understand, right? So that's consciousness thing. So yeah, and then the other part that I want to do is these are my goals. So I want to spread the message of peace and harmony through this. I want to get people involved in this movement. I want to get understand like this is kind of thing. So I want to go up where nothing existed in the world. That's Nasadiya Suktam. That's the mystery of creation, and that's how it started. That's how we have, and we owe our existence because of that. And one of the videos that was pushed on me was this by Vivek Sharma, right? That was how he discovered the Higgs boson, and that was very interesting how this works. And then Higgs field is what the Hinduism talks about in all its books. There's nothing you know. If you ask a Vedanta teacher about what Higgs field is what the gurus and things of the eastern region, like where I would call it the Indian civilization old age, like it's in ice age. Okay, I would say it's not anything new that so people who are scientific, who are scientists, they know this. What I'm talking. People who are not knowledgeable about this, they do not know this. So when I started this movement, nobody knew what Nasadiya was. So Nasadiya is what it's a suktam in Rig Veda. Suktam is a Vedic hymn which talks about how a world was created. Right. This is particular in relation to the Nasadiya Suktam. So it talks about what was existed before the creation, not after the creation. So it talks about what existed before and what didn't exist before and how it all came about. And there are like many hymns in Rig Veda about creation. And one of the thing is the so many theories have been happening. The Big Bang theory, the unified theory, whatever it is. It's all coming up now. So it's all there. There's nothing new in that. So if you just look up your thing and if you're knowledgeable about that, the scientists, they have to come out and say just like what Vivek Sharma said in that. And then even he didn't mention about Nasadiya Suktam in that. So I don't know for what reason. I'm going to talk to him if I come across him to meet sometime. So that's Nasadiya Suktam in that video which I shared in my post. And so I've uploaded a video about Nasadiya Suktam. In the thing, I'm going to explain the three verses of that. But it's going to take many more classes to understand. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here, what the first three verses means. And the Nasadiya meaning of the Nasadiya is also the first few lines, the first few words of the Nasadiya Suktam. Nasadasi no sadasit. That means na Asat Asit, Na Sat Asit. So there was no real existence. No, there was no Sat. There's no truth. There's no untruth also at that time before creation. So let me open up that slide here with me, and I would like to share that with you guys. Um, so let me, as I said earlier, there are like a couple of other suktams like Hiranyagarbha Suktam and Nasi Suktam. So I'm going to focus mainly on Nasi Suktam. But as Nasi Suktam is a riddle, in order for you to understand what Nasi Suktam is, you got to have the knowledge of Upanishads, the Vedas, the wisdom that the other people have, not this general knowledge here. So it's a riddle to solve for people, and only scientists who have studied Vedas, only Vedantists who have studied Vedas and all, they know what I'm talking here. So it's kind of very interesting how these things is turning out here. So I want to involve all the general public also to to increase the spiritual tolerance in secular society, right? This is my goal here. So this is exactly what I'm going to achieve here. I think that's the question here. So neural link, yeah, it is neuralink.com. Um it was involved in several animals being killed in pursuit of their goals. So I'm not too enthused about its impact for good. Yeah, that's right. So Neuralink was, this is what it is. And I worked with companies like St. Medical too, and they, in order to get something going here, um, they did not. They test it on animals to make sure that. So they're trying to develop a brain link here, which is going to be implanted in the brain, right? So one company has succeeded ahead of Neuralink. So they have beaten up Elon Musk, and I'm sure Elon Musk is not happy with that. So now this is the current research that's being done, and that's going to cure the Parkinson's. That's going to cure the quadriplegic, because when you get a computer interface to your actual disease that is happening in people, it's a big change for people who have that disease, right? So that's where that's what the Neuralink and the other companies are, and that's cutting edge actually. It'll be out in pretty much in a couple of years. Actually, the brain link that the other company developed is already out in the market. I think they're doing some tests now right now, so it should be pretty much. Again, forgot the name. I want to write it down, but we can Google it and search it up, and it's all there. So next question was, I'm with you on stopping the conversion. Yeah, that's right. This is convergence that happens with all of the world, right? I mean, this is like world religions. They fight among their own religion stuff. Even one religion. When I came to US, I thought there's only one Christianity, but it's not. They fight among each other too. So it's like within religions they fight, between different religions they fight. It's like the name of the religion itself. It's like it's so silly. Anyway, so let's talk about Nasi Suktam here. So the first verse, as I said, was I'm going to talk about the three first verses and what it means, so we can see what how it involves the Higgs boson that was found. And I think the video, pretty much talks about the quantums, and also, I mean, people might get discouraged with this high level knowledge of quantum physics, which I don't want to go through either. So quickly, roughly, I'll give you an overview of that, but just for a few minutes, you can look up. So there are force particles and there are matter particles, which are like kind of interact with each other. So before the Higgs boson was found, and Higgs field was Peter Higgs suggested this Higgs field theory in 1964, and then which says that the universe is permeated by a constant energy field, which uh, doesn't change, which doesn't decrease, or which doesn't increase. It's always constant, and the source of it cannot be shut off anytime. And so it's these are things which is very common knowledge for Vedantins. It's nothing new here. So open up any book of Vedas, Vedantas, talk to any Swamijis and all, he'll talk about this. So it's kind of very simple knowledge among spirituality. So it's kind of They get characteristics of the field itself in things, and what it is and what it's not. So pretty much the Upanishads talk about what it is not, because whatever it is, whatever you're aware of, is not consciousness, is what they say. So it is. So people are like trying to figure out what consciousness is, and because everything is in consciousness, so they'll never find it. Is what my understanding is. So whatever. Let the scientists scratch their head for that. Let's talk about the first three verses. I'm going to say that, and let me talk about the first verse here. नासदासी नो सदासी तदानी नासीद्रजो नो व्योमा परोयत किमावरी वक्वतस्य शर्मन्नं भक्तिमासीद् गणन् गभीरम् न मृत्युरासीद् मृतन्न तर्हि न रात्र्या अन्न आसीत् पकेतः आनीदवातं स्वधया तदेकं तस्मात् धान्यन्न परः किञ्चनास तम आसीत् तमसा गूढमग्रे प्रकेतं शैलं सर्वमायदं तुच्छेना भवेत् यदासीत् तपसस्तन्मयना जायतैकं कामस्तदग्रे संवर्. Okay, this is the fourth verse. So let's stop it here. Let's talk about the first three verses here. So Nasadiya Suktam talks about step by step about what the thing existed before. I'm going to give an overview of that. You can find a lot of translations of Nasadiya Suktam all over the internet, so you can look up in this. So I'm going to talk about the step-by-step creation as I learned, and I got a chance of talking to Dr. Gauri Molikar, who is actually the dean of faculty of the Chinmay Vishwavidyalaya, and I'm she's a very good Sanskrit scholar, and I was amazed at the knowledge that she has, and she's like, with this is all the information that I learned from her course, and so, and it's you'll understand what I'm talking here about the step-by-step creation of what it is. So there was darkness, tama asi tamasa gula magre. So there was darkness before. So I already said not what Nasadiya Suktam is, right? Nasadiya means, sorry, what Nasadiya was. So Nasadiya is na asat asit na sat asit. So there was nothing existing before earlier. So what it was apraketam sailam. So that's the one which talks about the second verse. न मृत्युरासीद मृतन्न तर्हि न रात्र्या अन्न आसीत् प्रकेतः आनीदवातं स्वधा तदेकं तस्मात् धान्येन परः किञ्चनास. So I mean, you can go through all these things, and so it's kind of interesting how she has put it in. Dr. Gauri Molikar is again well known among the Chinma family, and I'm glad that I came across her. She had come to Bay Area like a couple of years back, and we had a good conversation. So let's see. So there was actually apraketam selam. That is, there's undistinguished water everywhere. That is, to know what it was, right? So it was all covered with water. It was all covered with darkness. There was nothing existing earlier, right? So that's what the first three was talk. It is like there was all darkness, pitch darkness. So where you can, you can't even see yourself. You have to pinch yourself to know that you are existing. It's that kind of darkness in the world, in the universe, before the world was created. This is what the Nazi is talking about. It's a riddle again. So there was sala means like to move. That is the water. So that very subtle thing came up in the water, kind of thing. It started from the thing. It started to move and it started to you see how this the seeds germinate. You're not able to see how the seed germinates up, right? I mean, when the seed is seed. So when the world was created, when the universe was creating, you would not see how the world was created. We would see after the world was created, right? That's what it is. So you cannot see how the seed is germinating out from the and becoming a plant. So that's what the Nasadiya Suktam is all about. So he's talking about actually the Nasadiya Suktam is talking about like there was there's vibration within, right? There's it's all the universe is made of vibration. That's how the Vedas were given to the human like population, I would say. And there are four types of speech. I'll get back to it some later, but so there's you can look it up, and then so that's the way that the Vedas were given. They're called Shrutis. It's not by any rishis written. It is they do not nobody knows the author of that, and you don't even guess because nobody lived at that time. It was all I say. It was all like from the Almighty, from the only one power that existed before the world was created. So this Nasuduttam talks about that for sure. There was one Shakti, one whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, all religions have their own faith in one God. So that God, that particular reality, whose source cannot be switched off, that consciousness, that field, that is the one which created the thing. Right? That's what. But then, as I said, the Vedas do not say that is that. They say that Tattvamasi. That is like you are that. So that's kind of another topic for another time. So um, it started off with some vibration, and then this self-animated being it has its potency, right? So it had that kind of thing where it would get everything together. So Hiranyagarbha Suktam talks about an egg, which is common in all religions, where the upper part was darkness, then became sky, then lower part became universe or whatever it is. So it's kind of you can look it up, but this is Nasadiya Suktam. So yeah, so this is the kind of the throbbing vibration thing which was there, which even the Shaivism talks about that. It seems so. You can see that. So there was like so for anything to happen, anything to be created, there needs to be heat and there needs to be moisture. And so this is what Nasir talks about. There was water everywhere. There was only water, deep, unfathomable water. That's what the first three verses talks about initially. So it's kind of so this is kind of thing which intrigued Vikram to find out the Higgs boson, which interacts with the Higgs field, to put in short, and makes nature what we see as it today. So this is the scientific knowledge that we have currently based on the quantum physics and quantum mechanics and whatever you want to call it. So we are all made of that atom and that Higgs boson. And if that Higgs boson was not existing, there wouldn't have been a universe, there wouldn't have been the Earth, there wouldn't have been any planets, there wouldn't have been any you and me talking here. That's what that basic thing is. That's where the connection is between the Rig Veda and the Higgs boson. Anyway, so that's the one which you're talking about. Now, the creation was creation begins with heat and water that are combined. So this is the thing. So you need the 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 heat that sun provided, right? So the whatever happens, the let's see that the heat the thing was created, the Higgs boson, which stayed for a few minutes, and then you can see Peter Higgs crying in that. Now, Peter Higgs, who had this field, who he suggested in 1964, and he got the Nobel Prize in 2013 after this Higgs boson was discovered by Vikram and his team of 400 physicists. And this is the latest knowledge that you can get from this, and why Higgs boson is called a God particle. You can make up all these things, with all the different theories. But this is my take of it, the Nasadiya Advaita Movement, and this is Nasadiya Suktam, which got me so involved and so um, interested in it. And it's the same thing that happened to Vikram too in his childhood, and it seems he just put it away and stuff, and then he came back to it, and then so you can see that video which I shared earlier. So this is the about the Higgs boson and what is consciousness and what is the thing that you talked about earlier. And the second most important question that is troubling the world today is what is the universe made of. And again, I go back to the thing discussion between Deepak Chopra and the Swami Sarvapriyananda about this, and it's like, and I'm interested in all these things, and I want people to be amazed at the universe, right? And when you go out in the night sky, look up and see. I had like kind of an astronomy sessions here with different which with different children and with different families and all. And so children who have become interested in the skies and stars, they have made it as a career, and they can find out new planets. Like recently there was a Saraswati cluster which was found out, which was named after Saraswati law Devi, who we had the prayers in earlier, right? This is the goddess of Saraswati among people who follow Hinduism, but among other religions also. This is actually, there's a Saraswati cluster which is made up of um, so many clusters of galaxies. So each galaxy has got so many different stars, and each star is like, so many different planets around that. It's like, so there's so many different habitable planets. So there's different worlds. So if a world is existing, if there's another humanity that's existing, which people are want to know about, all these different people, right? It's interesting how things are things. So let's see. There's some questions here. Uh, how can certain religions? Yeah. So. Anyway, so let's get this out here. So what I was trying to say is how the Nasadiya Advaita movement is about. So it's interesting how these things have started. So it's we have to have an understanding about the cutting edge development that's happening here, and the children can choose a path depending on things. So they can find become interested in astronomy. They can find more clusters. So there's a lot more things to discover out in the world. It's not just one cluster or one kind of thing. So you can find out, right? So it's there are so many things astronomy that we can talk about. We can find out, and we can, so even you can discover and then buy a land in the moon kind of thing, and we can name it on you. So kind of, if people interested in becoming famous, so you can have. So it's kind of astronomy is something which is very important, which we can all talk about this. So um, let's see how these things work out now. And so my goal here, my movement is to increase the awareness among secular societies, and also um so let's talk about the other part in the Nasi Suktam, and we'll continue to the next one. Um, So, one more thing which I wanted to talk about before I stop about this Nasi Suktam is, we'll be talking more about this, because consciousness is something which in Higgs field and all, it's very important for the scientists and all. So we need to understand where we are coming from, where we are going. So it's and children can take up any career. It is a career, right? So it's kind of important for them to understand, so they can take up things. So what I was saying earlier was, astronomy could be taken as a career. The stars that you see there outside, there's so many billions of stars outside, and then we are just a small speck here fighting among religions and religious stuff and conversions and all. It's so absurd. We have a whole universe within us, if you want to understand that. It's not just that one universe which you see from your eyes, because consciousness is something which allows your eyes to see what you can't see outside, is what it says. So it's important to understand that thing, and people who are not knowledgeable about what consciousness is will not understand this. So it's very high level for them. Anyway, so what I was saying is, people can take it up as a career path in astronomy, and I know one person whose child took it up as a career path, just going out and watching stars outside. So one of the mindfulness tip that I usually give in the evening at the end of the class would be that today, because this is related to what I'm talking here today. Last time the talk was, just on the breathing thing, which is going to calm yourself. So it's you take a deep breath, and then uh, when breathing out, do it like, take it twice the time if you can. Otherwise, do it very slowly and go gradually towards that level. The second tip I'm going to give about mindfulness today is, I'm going to give a little early today so that people can understand, and I'm going to talk about it later too. Is to just observe outside, just feel gratitude, just feel the happiness around there, because you yourself have a universe within you. even though you are a small speck. So that's what I want to tell the youth and the adults and the seniors here. So it's like uh, it's nothing that you are that, right, that which has carrying the universe. So somebody said about the cancer thing, which I was talking to my niece and uh, husband who just visited me today. So I told them about this too. It's now cancer is something of just one cell among the billions and trillions of cell which goes haywire, and we are not able to find the reason for that, right? So it's like somebody said it's like a grain of sand. It's like very full, very big, very huge, and that just one grain of sand just falling on that hill of that grain of sand disturbs the whole calmness of the thing. Right? That's how the body reacts to the cancer cell, and the cancer cell multiplies, and then we become sick. So this is basically it. We have like billions and trillions of cells, just like we see outside the stars. So we are have a whole big universe within us that we got to search for. That's what our spirituality talks about that, and that's what we need to understand. That's where we got to strength out from. So the mindfulness tip that I'm going to give you today is that where just feel the gratitude, feel the just go out and then look at the stars and imagine all the stars. They're all within you, right? That's each cell, each thing, each cluster. The Saraswati cluster is like made up of so many clusters and billions of stars, which was found by three Indian scientists, which we came. So anybody can do that. There's so many things to find out about that, right? It's just like finding a cancer cell. It's just like that. So astronomy is such a big thing, which was dealt with in much more detail in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, and we'll have more sessions on that in future for sure. And then I'll be talking about each thing. So it's kind of interesting how these things are developed, and so maybe I'll come back to Hiranyagarbha Suktam to sometime later about the mystery of creation, because that's very common to all religions, and people will understand that much more among whatever their religion is. So, but Nasti Suktam again is a riddle, so that's for you to solve with the knowledge of the Upanishads. That's what it says, not with something else. And the Raja Yoga book that Deepak Chopra has got it out was just put me off, and I just didn't like that. So I'm going to read that and I'm going to comment on it more because I want to go. I want that to be approached in a direction where you have faith. And the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita says that it's not for people with carping spirit, people who find faults in small things. There in that's the royal secret. That's the royal teaching of the Upanishads. Because the other video that I uploaded here in my channel, Nasadiya Advaita Movement, is about that, about when and how the Bhagavad Gita was told. It is not at the time of Mahabharata at all. It was told to the sun god at the time of creation. So in Nasadiya Advaita Movement, we'll be talking only about the information that we had at the time of creation. So Bhagavad Gita falls in that category, and each of these chapters is Upanishad by itself, and it's a yoga for people to follow. It's yeah, Raja Yoga is something that we can I'll come back to it, but a lot of people have told me not to talk about that in the first classes, so because it's very, very high level. People will not understand that, so I was told not to talk about it in later stages. So, but I would say this: to reach from point A to point B, uh, Bhagavad Gita gives so many different yogas. That is the union with God, right? That's the ultimate goal, and so we should not lose that information of what we are doing it for. It's not just the exercises, and it's not dog yoga, dog poses, or goat yoga, or whatever it is. It's like it defies the true meaning of what yoga is. And I urge all the organizations to stop that and think what they're doing. It's not uh, uh, it's some knowledge that you want to give the real meaning of what yoga means here, not just use it for your creating money for yourself. So it's that's is where I differ. So again, so to go from point A to point B, there are many ways, many paths, many worlds that you can reach, many goals that you can reach, right? So the highest goal, the highest royal secret is Raja Yoga, and that comes only by faith. and that doesn't come by anything else, and that's the royal secret, which was told much many years back, and getting it out to the normal people at this level by a book with a dog poses is not right. Anyway, uh, so to go from point A to point B, you can dig a tunnel and go. That's possible, right? Or you can just catch a bus and go, or you can catch a train and go. You can go by plane. There are different ways of going there. So if you do not go the path of Raja Yoga, go by bus, go by a train. Don't dig a tunnel. Is what I would say. People who do not want to approach that with faith. Anyway, so that's the one which is so the mindfulness tip which I want to give today is uh, just feel the gratitude and feel whatever makes you happy. Just look out and wonder at what Nasadiya Suktam talks about. It just wonders. It just amazes how the world was created, and so we're talking more about that in near future. So, but this sort of impressed me about Nasadiya Suktam, and then this is not uh, giving you an answer, and then it's a pride among teachers to give a riddle at the end of the class to understand if the student has understood the knowledge or not. And then Nasuduttam, the Shanti mantra itself says, use this knowledge truthfully and make it your own. Meditate on that, is what it says in the Shanti mantra. And so people can come up with different views, right? Different views about how the world was created, and that's what happened. They came up with Big Bang theory, which is which is how it is, right? I mean, the scientific world thinks about it. So there are theories, unified theory, whatever it is. You can Google that and see how the world was created. So everybody's interested in that. Everybody's curious to know that. And there are many hymns of creation in the Upanishads. So you can take up anything later on. If anybody's interested, we can discuss that later. Please text me and let me know. We can talk on that later. So let's see how the time is now. I think we are almost like 15 minutes back down here. So we'll keep the questions for like 10 minutes in the end for the new subject. So the new subject that we brought it up today was about the Higgs boson and what is the universe made of. Actually, the answer is universe is made of nothing. What we see right now outside, what the billions of stars, what we see here is just about like point whatever 1% or 0.1%, whatever it is, very less. It's all dark matter, and nobody knows what dark matter is. And the Nasadiya Suktam talks about that. Nasadiya Suktam talks about what dark matter is, and it talks about what the darkness was and how the world was created and stuff. So it's like way back. It's in the riddle form. So you can look it up again and see what I'm talking about. But this is the first three verses which I took up for discussion today. So let's continue that in the next few classes. We are getting down to that time frame here. So it says that the chaotic darkness was pierced, and that's how the Big Bang theory want to say, or whatever you want to call it. It must have been a kind of a thing which see form, right? So form in different words, So that's all. So this is the logic presented by the seer, and who knows who the seer is, right? Nobody knows who wrote that with us. So it's the Shrutis again, and people with faith believe that because there are 4 types of speech, and I can Google that to see again. So the way that people receive by downloading and uploading the memory, that that Neuralink was not able to do it because it's not easy. But the children will stop going to universities and all. See how this is going to happen, right? When this is going to happen. So it's kind of very maybe 20 years down the line or whatever is what I feel. They'll not be able to do that. But then they'll be able to solve a lot of issues with the health problems that people are facing with this brain link. So I'm excited about that. It's going to they're going to do a lot of tests on the animals again, and a lot of competition is going to happen there in that field, and that's a new field which is cutting edge technology, which is going to solve a lot of health issues for people who have not been able to find solutions for that. and Parkinson's is one of them. Schizophrenics people, autistic people, name it, all the brain-related kind of thing. So, I'm sorry. There's another question which Venkat had asked last time about some consciousness and consciousness. So there are a lot of things that you can do here, where people do a lot of things unconsciously, subconsciously, and so there's some kind of gap in between when the consciousness hits and then action takes place. So there's if you go to my earlier video, there's intention. You have to have good intention for good actions to happen, good thoughts, and then good feelings, good beliefs and stuff. So it's kind of all related. So we'll touch base on that later on. But that's kind of this is what my understanding is. So I think let's stop here for now, and let's do it with the prayer again. And we'll take up more discussion, and it's going to be interactive sessions. And I'm glad Venkat and Jairaj and other people have joined here. Shekhar is here, so they're very knowledgeable about this, and we want to make it like a regular week dining table discussion by a family. That's what my goal is. So, I mean, it's there are a lot of issues that happen. You can look up the socialdilemma.com. That's the main goals that I talked about. Very similar goals to mine. And they're achieving that through a different things, and then I'm achieving it through a different way. As I said, people can dig a tunnel and go up, people can bus and stuff. So it's like people, there is the same destination is what I feel. So let's see where we go in this moment, and socialdilemma.com. So let's stop here with the prayer. I'm going to end this session for now, and then we'll take up discussions, the questions that you have on this topic that we talked about, and we'll dig more in detail. Thank you for joining again. I appreciate all your time and effort that you've taken, and this is getting a lot of interest among all people all around, and people are commenting on that. They're getting back to me, and this is going to definitely solve the issues of the things that I talked about, youth empowerment, and it's going to be a family forum, and it's going to be a place where people can get ideas about new technological developments. People can get ideas about spiritual advancement. People who are interested in spirituality, like seniors who don't get to talk at home about spirituality because of the young people. They don't like to talk about spirituality in some families, not all, but so they get to talk about this in the dining table openly. That's what I want to have, open discussion among all families every week. And so this is Ranjan Desai signing off with the prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. All right, let's take up some interesting questions which you have here on this today's talk, and I'm sure you'll be able to. Other people will be interested in this too. So let's take up Jara's question. Oh wow, Hari Om Venkat. How did the concept of immortality emerge? Oh wow, that's a very late stage. It didn't emerge out with the kind of the creation. Actually, even the creation itself happened. The Trimurti also was created by Brahma, is how it says, and Brahma is the one which I talked about, the Prajapati. That Nasadiya talks about. Each creator has to be there for, right. So there are many Brahmas, and the world gets created. So what happens here is in every yugas, it's like Carl Sagan said that. Okay, Hinduism is the only religion where they talk about the time thing. I'm not able to say that thing, whatever it said, but you can Google that and see what it says, Carl Sagan. So it's the only religion which talks about that time scale, which none of the religions talk about, actually. So that's Carl Sagan, by the way, not me. So you can Google that and see what it says about that. So there are many yugas that happen. The world gets destroyed and then created again. So there's a Brahma always for a new creation. So a Brahma was there for this universe that we live in right now, is what the Vedas tell us. And that Brahma is the one where the heat and the moisture got together. And so this is a riddle again, Nasi Suktam. So it's for you to see where you want to fit in, right? You want to look for the Big Bang Theory, go for it. If you want to look for the Hiranyagarbha Suktam, go for it. If you want to go for the Purusha Suktam, go for it. There's a lot of theories about this, and people do not know. That's what it ends up with. Do you know how the world was created? That's what it ends up with. So it's like it's a riddle to solve, and it's with the knowledge of Upanishads that you got to solve this riddle. Is what it says. Because every teacher wants to give a riddle, and this is a riddle that the Almighty has given us here for the humanity to search for it. So that's what I mean. So immortality emerged is this concept of this was all based on the Upanishads. So there are three schools of thoughts which started. This is one is the Advaita movement and Vishisha Advaita and Dvaita. So they all the, are based on Upanishads, and they are actually this is Swami Sarapiyananda, by the way, who told me this. And indebted to him about all this knowledge that he's sharing with me, and it's amazing how this happened. So there are the three things which started, right? All these seers, they would not understand the Upanishads. So Vyasa, Veda Vyasa, who is considered Vishnu by himself, had to write the Brahma Sutras. And so whoever commented on Brahma Sutras became an Acharya. So Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, these are all Acharyas, who started these big philosophies in life, right? That we follow today. Advaita, Advaita, and Vishisha Advaita, and also this is all different theories. So immortality is different in where you stand, is what I would say. So next question is how did the concept of that's so Kalamas. Oh yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's it. No, there's a lot of things. Kalima's son, right, was non-manifested form in dark matter. So yeah, so one more thing. So Narcissism talks about unmanifested things and manifested things. So manifested things, what we see here, unmanifested things are what are happening. That's expanding universe theory, right? That's what the Big Bang theory is. That's it's expanding. Unmanifested things are getting manifested still, and it's expanding just as your inner universe is expanding every day, and you're becoming big. That's how a child grows from a small child to an adult and a senior, and then the cycle repeats again. So you see the similarities here. So that's what I'm talking about. I think I've answered that question here. I think we're getting out of time. 2 more minutes, but I'll try to answer here. Otherwise, I'll answer it in the next session here. But let me go to the next one here. I think Venkat and Sudha Shekhar has been really interesting things here, and thank you for joining, Venkat and Shekhar. It's really interesting how, and your discussion is going to be uploaded, and we'll have this discussion with everybody, and everybody will be interested in knowing what you are talking here. So it's interesting how these things will happen, and it's going to happen on each dining table of the family here. So believe me, it's got a lot of people interested in this, and they are like, even though they have not joined, they're going to, because this YouTube thing is where I found out that it's going to be uploaded directly. But every time I finish this up, we'll have this a follow-up thing for this. So I'm not able to follow the session pretty much. So there'll be an answer to all your questions that you have currently. It's almost 7:30. I'm going to shut down here in about a minute. But all your discussion that you have here, and it's going to be uploaded in a different video, a follow-up video with all the different understanding, whatever I have so far, and we can discuss that and continue further in the next class for sure. So we'll spend the first few minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, talking about your discussion here. The next class. You're most welcome to join. Please let other friends know my goal here, the movement of Nasadiya Movement, and I started this in January. So it's interesting how things are working out for all of us, and hope you enjoyed today's session. And see you again next week. And thank you for joining, and really appreciate all your inputs. And good night. Hari Om. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, Shekhar. Uh, Again, good session. I really appreciate you joining me today. And yeah, you're right. Our sages intuited the knowledge that they passed on to us, initiated. Yeah. So, Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's continue our discussion next time, and let's the few 10 to 15 minutes of the discussion we'll have on your discussion here right now. I'm really excited to talk and share your knowledge, both of your knowledge and both your discussion with other people too. Thank you for joining. Good night.